Good morning, mini truckers and mini truckettes. We are back, lively, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed. So all I have to say about this Mitsubishi U42 is, wow. We have came so far with it. We have done quite a few things. We've only got a couple things left to do on it. Actually, 3 things left. So tinting the window is going to be the first thing I'm going to do this morning. Then I'm going to move on to doing a buff and wax, getting all this oxidation and grime out of the paint, bring it back to a very white, vibrant, glossy finish. And then the next thing I got to do, which I'm not going to do right away because I have another one that we're getting ready to bring in, get it ready, is bed liner. So I'm going to do 2 trucks at the same time. Bed line them. That way I'm not having the material out and back and forth. I can just shoot them both at the same time and kind of, I think it'd be easier. I don't know. We'll find out. So just a rundown on this U42, what we've done with it. I'm going to call this lift the JMT Supermax 3-inch lift kit. The reason why is because I haven't seen anyone do this before. I've seen 3-inch lifts, I've seen 2-inch lifts, but they're done in a different manner from the way I've done it. So I did a 2-inch lift on the strut with the strut cap, the top hat, and the plate with the camber adjustment. And to top that off, I did a progressive rate spring that is made for mini truck struts. So that spring gives the truck a better ride. It has a heavier weight rating. So it starts out at like, I think 250 pounds, where the factory spring is like 160 or something like that. The more weight you put on it, the more progressive weight that it'll help out and give you stability. So I think it goes all the way up to like 330 or 350 or something like that. So that is a very awesome spring that we offer, and it's just an amazing upgrade from factory springs. So when I do the springs, I take out bump stop. So there's like a plastic sleeve that goes over the strut shaft that it's like a dust cover, but also has a built-in bump stop. So you're going to get more articulation out of the front end. So adding that spring alone gives you an extra 1.5 to 1.75 inches, because it's pushing that strut out and pretty much maxing that strut out as much as it can. So it's really a 3.5 inch lift on the front. In order to do that, you have to drop the differential 1 inch. You have to drop the engine 1 inch, because the engine mount bar that goes from frame rail to frame rail meets, around each side of the truck is also right there with the differential. So when you drop that differential, the cross member, the differential itself hits that engine mount. Found that out. So that had to come down. And in the front, there's a cross member that holds the steering rack, and the front part of the differential actually mounts to that as well. So that came down 1 inch. So 1 inch, there's 3 1-inch drops on pretty much the drivetrain. So another thing that I did that's very unique, that you don't see done on these trucks very often, is I put blocks in between the axle and spring, which that was a 3-inch block, and it's angled to help keep the angle of the drive shaft right. So 3-inch block there, and it was still a little high in the front. That's why I was talking about the spring giving an 1.5 to 1.75 inches, somewhere in between there, extra lift on the front. So I didn't want to change the rear shackles. So the rear spring shackles, I wanted to keep them at factory height in the back. So the problem with extending your spring shackle is the further down it is, the more leverage the truck has to move. So it's like, I was in the towing business for a while, and when you reach out with a boom or an underreach, the further out you reach, the less leverage you have with the truck. So that's kind of the same thing that's going on. The further these are down, the less leverage you have with stability. So what I did was I used the shackles that come with the 2-inch lift, but I put them in the factory holes. The factory holes are 1/2 inch apart further than the actual factory shackles. So that actually worked out perfect. So it's just set and level, and this thing is a monster. I know watching it on video here doesn't give it justice. Maybe it does, because I'm 6'2". This truck's almost as tall as I am. The bumper is almost to knee height. So bottom of the bumper is almost up to my knee. Getting in the truck, if you're short, you're gonna have to hop into this thing. There's a 5-inch gap between the tire and the fender well. So she's sitting up there. It's a whole nother stance of a U42 from a factory ride height. This truck's a very nice one. It has 68,000 kilometers. It's a 1992, which some of you might say, well, it's got kind of high mileage on it. Kind of, but the truck doesn't show it at all. It's got a brand new factory exhaust from the manifold all the way back. I actually did do a timing belt and water pump service on this truck. Coolant flush, full oil service. I mean, I've been through this thing. I've checked all the brakes. Of course, when a truck comes in straight from Japan, you rarely ever have to do brakes because they're so strict over there with their inspections and everything. So all that was good. As you're seeing these wheels, these are 4x100 wheels. So the Mitsubishi has a 4 on 115. I had to use adapters, which worked out amazing with the setup that I have, because these wheels don't have an offset, and the 1-inch spacer set the wheels out, I mean, perfectly even with the truck. I mean, they poke out maybe 1/4 of an inch. So you're going to be going off-road with this truck. You don't have to worry about slinging mud all down the side of it. It's going to keep it right there in the fender well. Like I said, this thing's awesome. She sets up tall. She's got really good ground clearance. I took the little vehicle ramps. Here's a picture of it. And I set one on the ground, and I drove the truck up on it, just one wheel. And the flexibility out of those springs is pretty good. I mean, I can't complain with it at all. I mean, it went right up it. It kept all the wheels on the ground. Yeah, I'd say that's a foot of travel. It's got to be a foot of travel. I haven't measured it yet, but it's got to be 12 inches of travel, or close to it at least. So that's what's going on with the U42. Like I said, buffing, waxing, tinting the windows, and a bed liner is all that's left on this thing. She's fully serviced. She's lifted. She's got the wheels and tires on her. And we have gone a long ways. The interior is fully detailed. We've done a headliner in it because the original headliner, like usual, has fallen. This came out to be an awesome truck. I really enjoy it. Really enjoy the truck and working on it and being around it and doing the things we did to it, and figured out a new lift kit. So if anyone has a U42, I even do this for the DD51 Suzukis. So if you remember back at Roman Atwood's truck, we did a 3-inch Supermax on it. The only thing about Suzuki's is, which I don't understand why they did it ultimately, they went away from that, but they put the springs, the leaf springs in the rear underneath the axle. So you can't use a block to lift the rear end up. You have to use the shackles. I don't like that. It makes the truck feel weird driving down the road. It almost feels like at road walks, like the steering is very, very sensitive. I'm not a fan of that. And the only way to get around that is if it's in your wheelhouse, or if not, bring it to a fab shop and have them do an axle flip to where they take the bracketry for the springs, put it on top of the axle, and then you can, you may not even have to lift the rear end hardly at all after you do that, because that's, well, maybe an inch or two, but it's nothing. If you do that, it might ultimately be a better lift, 100%, because it'll be pretty much stock in the back. But anyway, enough of that. We will get this U42 finished up hopefully today. Other than the bed liner, I'm holding off on that, like I said, until I get the other truck prepped and I can have them both side by side and pretty much, and shoot it and do the other one, shoot it. So yeah, I guess that's it. And it's just an awesome truck. I'll grab the camera here and I'll show you the interior, show you the headliner we put in it. This thing cleaned up amazing. It was pretty dirty on the inside, as far as just grime for not being cleaned in a long time. Not that it was beat up or off-road or anything like that. It's just over time. It did have the original water pump and timing belt on it, which that was pretty interesting. The belt was stretched. You could bend the belt in half and see all the little cracks and from dry rot, and just it was not a good thing. So that's all done. We all have the peace of mind there, and it's going to make someone an awesome rig. So yeah, let's grab this camera, give you guys a peek inside, maybe walk around it a little bit. All right, guys, so here's the U42. With the Supermax on her. The jack is just there, it's not holding nothing up. So she cleaned up nice. We haven't shined anything, that's just the bare plastic. These seats came out looking brand new. It's an amazing little mini truck for sure. I don't like the poverty button that it has right here. That's where the AC button would be. So this is not an AC truck, unfortunately. There's a headliner. Mom and Dad actually stuck that in there last night, and it feels great. This is like a kind of like a suede type of material. So you got the 4-wheel drive, high-low transfer case. It's a 4-speed, and it is a spunky little truck. So yeah, that's pretty much the rundown. Oh, it does have the double den that we put in there with a backup camera, 4-inch door speakers. bed is not in bad shape. They had something sitting in here, obviously. Here. I think it's some kind of crate or something. This truck, I believe, I have to look at the paperwork. I believe it was owned by Daihatsu. So even Daihatsu knows that Mitsubishis are king. Look at that ground clearance, guys. There's the blocks that are installed, or the oversized shocks. There's the shackles. See how I kept them at factory height. These are hanging. I'm thinking about cutting them. I'm not sure yet. They don't look bad like that, I don't think, but make them look better. This thing is tall, baby. She is a tall one. So yeah, that's just a little sneak peek of the U42, what we've done to it, what we've gone through with getting the lift figured out and making it better than what you would normally come across. Getting the interior clean, then all of our steps and touches, and you know, just making this thing on a whole nother level of a regular U42. All right, mini truckers, I appreciate you being here. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, get the notifications when we upload. We're going to keep these videos coming. We appreciate you being here, keeping these videos playing. I guess you guys keep these mini trucks trucking and keep the wheels rolling, and we will catch you on the next one.